It was cold. Colder than anything I'd ever felt. It pulsed in my hand, a faint rhythmic hum that vibrated straight through my bones. I found it half buried in the desert sand, a smooth obsidian shard that didn't belong. The moment my skin touched its surface, the world dissolved into light. I saw them. I saw their worlds. I saw what's coming for us. If you want to know the truth, like this video, subscribe, and don't look away, because I'm about to show you everything. My name is Leo. I'm a geologist, or at least I was. For a decade, my world was measured in rock formations and ancient dust. I'd spend months in the empty quiet of the desert searching for fossils, for some tiny proof that I wasn't as insignificant as I felt under the vast, silent sky. My biggest fear wasn't loneliness. It was being forgotten, just another layer of dust. I just wanted to make one discovery that mattered. I should have been more specific about what I wanted to discover. Because what I found wasn't buried in our past. It was a warning from theirs. The sun was relentless that day, beating down on the sand until the world shimmered. My gear was acting up. The magnetometer was screaming, the compass spinning wildly. I thought it was a magnetic ore deposit, something rich, but it wasn't. Half buried in the red dust was a sliver of darkness. It wasn't rock, it wasn't metal. It was nothing, like a hole in the world. It drank the light around it, impossibly smooth, perfectly sharp. My mind raced through every known mineral, every possible meteorite composition. None of them fit. This thing hummed with an energy that made the fillings in my teeth ache. A low, silent thrum I felt more than hurt. A cold radiated from it, a deep, unnatural cold that bit at my skin despite the desert heat. Every instinct, every year of my training screamed at me to back away, to log it as an anomaly and leave. But my hand moved on its own. I had to know. I had to touch it. That was my first mistake. The world didn't just come back. It fractured. One moment, I was staring at my own hand, trembling, blistered from the cold. The next, my mind was filled with images. Towers that pierced toxic crowds, oceans of liquid methane, creatures of light and shadow, locked in a silent cosmic war. It wasn't a dream. It was a memory, but not my own. I shoved the shard into my pack and drove. I drove for hours, trying to outrun the echoes in my head, but they were already inside me. The static on the radio wasn't static anymore. It was a language, clicking and whispering between the frequencies. At night, I'd wake up in a cold sweat, the phantom light of a dying alien sun seared into the back of my eyelids. The desert was no longer empty. I felt them. Eyes. Not from the coyotes or the hawks. This was different. An intelligent, patient observation. I'd catch movement at the edge of my vision, a flicker of distorted air, a shadow that moved too fast. I told myself it was paranoia, the heat, the isolation. But then the satellite phone went dead. The Jeep's GPS started showing my location in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They weren't just watching, they were cutting me off. The artifact wasn't just a relic I had found, it was bait, and I had taken it. The visions became clearer, more insistent. They weren't just showing me their history, they were showing me a pattern, a cycle, a predator that moves from world to world. And the shard wasn't a weapon. It was a tombstone. It was a warning. And it was screaming that They found us. I locked myself in a cheap motel room, hundreds of miles from the desert. But you can't run from what's inside your own head. I tried to piece the visions together to understand the warning. I saw their cities fall. I saw their star burn out. I saw a hand, slender, and with 3 fingers, reaching for a child before being engulfed in white light. The grief I felt was overwhelming, a tidal wave of loss for a world I'd never known. But that was the lie. Last night, something changed. The hum from the shard in my bag grew louder. The air in the room grew cold. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, and stared into the mirror. My reflection stared back, and for a split second, it wasn't my face. The eyes were too large, too dark. My skin had a faint iridescent sheen. My hand, trembling as I raised it to my face, it looked wrong, elongated. That's when I remembered the hand from the vision reaching for the child. It wasn't a warning I was seeing. It wasn't their memory. It was my memory. The grief was mine. The lost world was mine. I'm not Leo, the geologist. I don't know what I am, but I'm not from here. The artifact wasn't a tombstone I found by chance. It was a key designed to awaken me. My feeling of being an outsider, of not belonging, it was never a feeling. It was a fact. And the thing that hunted my people across the stars, the artifact just told them where to find the last one. The hum from the shard in my bag went silent. Absolute silence. Then a new sound from outside. A deep, resonant pulse that rattled the motel window. A vibration I recognized from the memories, from the fall of my world. They're not coming anymore. They're here. I looked down at my hands, this human form that suddenly feels like a costume I can't take off. The artifact didn't just tell me who I was, it told them where I am. So what happens now? What would you do if you were the last of your kind and you were no longer alone?